Hey traders, Raghee here with a post-chat late morning update. It's almost noon actually, and I'll be in the afternoon breakout session in about 1 hour to cover a lot of these trades. But what did we start the day off with? We finally slam dunked the $30 level. We've been talking about this in the chat room for a while. I don't like talking about inevitabilities in the market, but this was one of those exceptions to my no calling calls, which is $30, it was just a jackhammer. We finally busted through, and you can see as we speak, we're breaking $28 a barrel. Now, this starts as the relief rally from yesterday. Yesterday, what did we talk about in the chat room? We had a really great 5-minute setup in the morning, the 10 o'clock trade going into the BTG, and I said it's a relief rally. Look for it to be sold into, and sure enough, that's exactly what we're seeing. Tremendous follow through. I love that, what a lot of you are starting to get with the calls is not about really being a contrarian. It's about following the overall trend and then being able to say that, hey, we have an opportunity that could present itself. We can think short and long term. And ultimately what that does is, from the short-term perspective, we take each risk session one by one. I'm not looking for organization. I'm not looking for follow-through from Monday's sentiment and momentum to Tuesday. Every day is a standalone, and that's worked really well for us now going into its third week. All right, the bigger story was the Canadian dollar. So let's take a look. There's 3 pairs that are on our watch list for the Canadian dollar: Japanese yen, Euro Canadian dollar, and this one here, dollar Canada. We took trades on Euro Canada and dollar Canada. Tomorrow, heads up, we've got the ECB. We did not end up getting a trigger on the Canadian dollar Japanese yen because despite the Canadian dollar strength, yes, that's right, we'll talk about that in a moment, despite the Canadian dollar strength, the yen was just too strong because the Dow was melting down. So what happened with the Canada? I said if I could script anything to a T, it's that the BOC would not cut rates. The rate cut only got really discounted and broadcasted in a much more public way the last handful of days. Before then, the expectations were that rates would stay at 0.5%, that we'd get this uber dovish statement, and then Pelosi would try to talk the currency down in the press conference. And quite frankly, what we got is really a Stephen Pelosi that we've now seen for about 3 weeks, who's kind of like, don't worry about a thing. That kind of story. And when you look at the statement, what was really interesting is that even now, it's not a dovish statement. But at some point, traders are going to say, yeah, right, Pelosi, have you seen crude oil lately? And I think what happened is, and we got a tremendous opportunity on this, we had a lot of Canadian dollar strength hit the market on the no cut. I said we'd see an epic short squeeze. That's exactly what we saw. So let me give you a little background on the timing, and I hope this changes possibly the narrative and your mindset for opportunities that coincide with major financial events. Don't be in the market before. That's a bet. That's a gamble. And that's okay. It could work out. But what I'd rather see you do is optimize to the very best risk reward possible. In other words, take advantage of what I call catch the wick. Quantify the volatility. Look at hourly and daily price movement ranges, and then step just outside those ranges and wait for the market to come to you. And that's exactly what we did with the Euro Canada and dollar Canada. So that was a tremendous short squeeze, came right to our front door, and we let it in, and it was fantastic. So we are long Euro Canada, long dollar Canada. We just have to navigate through the ECB tomorrow, which we will do live in the room, and that's your mid-morning update.